Welcome to this video. We're going to look at a number of ways you can use video and audio with your students. So if we look back at the good old days when I was teaching, we used to wheel in a video and press play. But let's focus on that wheel in a video. It used to be a real rigmarole if you wanted to use video and audio with your students. In the case of my career, I'd have to go and speak to the library staff and book out a TV and a video player, find the video, maybe record something off the telly in order to play, or if I was wanting to record something in class, maybe student presentations, again I'd have to go and borrow a video recorder. Nowadays obviously everyone is pretty much walking around with a video recorder. They've got their phone, they've got their tablet which they can use to record video, and as you'll find hopefully from this presentation, there are a wealth of tools that you can use to edit video and use video with your learners. So first one we're going to look at is MoveNote. MoveNote is a Google Drive add-on. It enables you, as you can see from this visual here, to add an image from a presentation or a document. You can upload PDFs, and then you can talk and your face appears here, and as you move through your slides, your learners see the slides you're looking at and referring to. So I think it can be used in a number of ways. It can be used for feedback. It can be used as a way of uploading your students' assignments and then giving them feedback via video. It can be used for creating flipped learning content, where you record your presentation and then share it with the learners. It can also be used by the learners. So one of the challenges we face when we're asking the students to do presentations, and it's a really key skill that they develop, that communication skill of presenting to others. But if we've got 30 learners and we only see them for a couple of hours a week, and we're asking them to do a 5-minute presentation, that eats into valuable delivery time. So by using video, we can get the students to present, practice those key skills, but not take up the whole lesson. They can share their presentations with their peers via social media, via maybe a closed community on sort of Google Plus or something, and they can get feedback, and you can provide feedback as well. So I think it has a number of different options. So that's the first one that we're going to look at, which is MoveNote. So move on to number 2. So in number 2 on my list is Video Notes. It's another Google Drive add-on. It allows you to upload a video link from YouTube and then to allow comments, and as you can see, as you add the comments, it puts in the time mark where those comments relate to the point in the video. So I could see this being used as a way of you giving feedback to learners who provided you with videos, or I could see it as a way of taking something like a TED Talk and getting the learners to engage in it more fully by asking them to make notes about the key points that are raised during the TED Talk. So they are Video Notes. It's probably one of my favourite tools at the moment. Really easy to use, beautifully integrates into Google Drive. You get a folder with your video notes contained within it, and you can share it on the share button just like you share a Google Doc. So moving on. Keeping on the theme of audio and video and potentially for feedback, we've got Kaizena. Now this used to be an add-on. It's now a separate site. You upload your documents that your students have provided to you as part of an assignment. You can then select the text and you can record an audio comment. You can type a comment or you can add a link. For me, it's the audio bit which I think really makes a difference. I'm not the quickest of typists, so to be able to give audio feedback to my learners which they can then listen to on their phones or whatever, via their earphones on the bus or on their way to and from college, is a really useful tool. So that's Kaizena, really easy to use. Upload it and then you can record comments relating to a word, a sentence, a paragraph that the learners have submitted. Moving on to the next one. So we've looked at a couple of sites where we can actually interact with the videos and add some functionality, even create our own videos. In this one, polls are always a good way to get debate and discussion. Really simple to use. You can upload up to 12 videos and people can vote for which video they prefer. So potentially you could use it as a way of getting the learners to choose which technique is the best practiced way of doing something. So that's clip choose. Moving on swiftly. Next one, file logs. Videos can be a great catalyst for discussion, and with this site you choose your video, you upload it, you then add your question, whatever it may be in relation to something to engage the debate, share it with your learners, and they can type in and post responses, and you can get a discussion going via logs. So that's via logs. Now, going back to the good old days, and I mentioned the video recorder, obviously you'd never just say to the students watch a video, because they'll drift off, they'll get distracted by something. There's no reason for them to engage with that video. Zaption allows you to add images, text and questions to a video at different points within the timeline, which means the learners have to engage, have to watch the content actively in order to respond to the questions. So Zaption is the first of a few sites like this that I'm going to talk about. For me, it's probably one of the easiest to use. Others of a similar vein, Edpuzzle, again, allows you to trim videos, and you can find videos from a range of different sources. You can drop them in, you can trim the length, and then you can add questions at various points. You can also add an audio track over the top. I think what these tools highlight is that we're not needing to create as much content. We haven't got the time or the resources to create content. There's a wealth of content out there, and I think the skills that staff and students need to develop are around the curating and collating of resources and making sure those resources are appropriate. In an ideal world, we'd have the time and the resources to make our own videos specific and purposeful to the subject we're teaching. But we haven't got that time, so we have to make use of the existing content, and these tools are great ways of taking something and making it more purposeful for the subject that we're teaching. So we'll go on to the next one. PlayPauseIt, again, very similar to the ones we've already talked about. With this one, you can, as with the others, add a video from a range of different online sources. You can then add some interactivity in the form of multi-choice or free response questions, or you can have a reflective pause where students can just think for a moment and then either give a thumbs up or thumbs down. All of these you can then reshare with the learners. Some of them will allow the learners to log in, and if you get the learners to log in, you can see how they've interacted with the resource. The great thing about all of these, because they're online, you can link them to whatever platform or thing you use. So at the moment, the college I work at, we use Google and Google Classroom, but if you use Moodle or Blackboard, because it's a URL that it generates, you can add that to whatever site or platform you're using. So we've rattled through them at a pace. I will share a link under this video to the presentation where you can click on links to the sites that have been mentioned. The last one I'm going to talk about is TeluguMe. TeluguMe is an iPad app. It allows you to create a character from the various characters they've got. So you can customize the look and feel, changing hair color and gender and ethnicity and so on and so forth. You can add your own image in the background, as I've shown in this example, and then you've got a choice. You can either record your voice, or you can type in, if you pay for the app, I think it's about £2 or £3, type in what you want them to say. And the typing in bit, I think, is where it really adds value, because I've seen it being used with learners who need to develop their English skills. And initially, if they're not using the punctuation, the commas, the full stops and so forth correctly, what the animation says is unrecognisable, because it just says words. If they apply the correct punctuation and spelling, what the animation says is correct and legible. So TeluguMe, I think, is a great way, and potentially a useful way to encourage those learners who potentially aren't comfortable at standing up and presenting in front of the class. They can present a sort of third person via the TeluguMe app. So if you want to see more of stuff like this, then follow me on Twitter, and I'll join you again soon.